transects, and trail cameras. Welcome to Wolf Trap Park, originally established in 1966. Wolf Trap gets its name from the early 1630s when wolves roamed the park grounds. Eventually, the wolf population became less common, but by the 18th century, Wolf Trap was the area's official name. The park was founded by Catherine Feline Schaus. Miss Schaus wanted to protect the land from encroaching roads and development, as well as to create a place where the arts could be enjoyed in harmony with nature. It also serves as a valuable resource for scientists and wildlife biologists who conduct studies in the park.
Yeah, I mean, the word transect can mean a few things in our field.
Transect, a straight line through a natural feature or across the Earth's surface, along which observations are made or measurements taken.
Some of it is for study design, like for research. A lot of times we will put devices on straight lines or systematically through some sort of ecosystem, right, to collect data. We might put those things on animal paths. We might try to follow animal paths with our devices that we're trying to collect data with, because that will give us a higher probability of seeing one of those animals or the animals being there.
Camera traps, also known as trail cameras, can be useful tools for scientists who are collecting data on transects.
So we oftentimes dive into the woods and look for little trails that animals use. We call those game trails. It's where a bunch of animals or a bunch of individuals are using the path and wear it down. We'll dive in right here and see if we can find a little trail. So here I've found sort of a faint trail. It's a little bit harder to tell when there's no grass, but it looks like a little trail that animals are using. And it goes alongside a decent sized, sort of medium sized tree. So I think I'll use this tree, point the camera down the trail and hope that some animals come along and we capture them in a photo. And then once we have it at the right spot, we just take the camera out. We make sure that our settings are correct inside the camera. Get it all set up, turn it on, put it back in there, and we have about 30 to 40 seconds until we need to be out of the frame. Once your camera's installed, we can then walk it to the tree.
Trail camera, an outdoor camera that can be left unattended to photograph or video footage at regular intervals or whenever motion is detected.
I've used the cameras for two different kinds of surveys. One is for deer. It gives us an opportunity to determine deer densities. And another reason to use cameras is to determine the presence or absence of different species. So it gives us a chance to determine how common several of the species are. That would be coyote, fox, raccoon, opossum, skunk. And I'd really like to get a fisher.
So the research I'm doing in Washington, D.C. area particularly is we have cameras and we also have these audio devices set up from the middle of downtown D.C. and they go out into the suburbs of Maryland and Virginia. Those are our transects. And we're trying to see who lives where and why they live there and how we can make cities more wildlife friendly and also how they might change their behavior in cities.
I think the urban areas and the rural areas get more and more developed. I think keeping natural areas becomes more and more important to the ecology and also for our personal well-being.
For my work, I'm out in the field putting out cameras and working with students, and so I get to be outside a lot just with my work. Even on my hobbies, I like to make my hobbies be outdoors as well.
I just really like to get out and hike. That would be probably my favorite way of getting out into the outdoors.
You could participate in science too. Exploring the beautiful trails at Wolf Trap, you can also find trail counters. Trail counters are devices used to measure the number of cyclists and pedestrians using a trail. Just like how camera traps show us which animals are using game trails, trail counters show us how people are using hiking trails. Next time you're out hiking in a national park, keep your eyes peeled for trail counters and the hidden abundance of wildlife all around you.